Commissions. I've been doing commissions for a very long time, and I know how hard it can be to set up commissions when you don't really know what to do. So in this video, I'll be telling you what to do when you're setting up your own commissions. Keep in mind that I'll be covering only public commissions in this video. I won't be including things that include royalty pricing. So if you would like a video on that, please leave us a comment down below. Don't undercharge. You hear every big artist tell you this, but it's true, they're right. Sometimes I'll see people who offer like really huge commissions and they're like, this is $4, this is $10. I'm like, that's so cheap. Right, the first thing you want to consider is the minimum wage in your area, right? Where I am here in Canada, Ontario specifically, it is $16 an hour, right? If you are working for a minimum of 2 hours, let's say, that's at least $32 per hour. You shouldn't be charging minimum wage anyway. If you are charging, let's say like $10 for like 4 hours of work, that's what? That's so little. That's like $2.50 for every hour. That's like way below minimum wage. So there's lots of things you can do to factor in the costs for your work. How long have you been an artist? How long have you been drawing for? How long have you been working as an artist? Have you been to school for art, right? Especially if you've been to post-secondary or if you've been to extracurriculars or stuff like that, that's gonna like raise the prices of everything. Because that wasn't free, right? You paid for that education. That was something that you paid to go to, so that you want to factor that into the cost as well. What general skill level would you put yourself on? This one is going to be kind of hard, a little bit more tricky to gauge, especially if you're more of a beginner artist. You may want to ask a professional, may want to ask a mentor for their advice on this like section, because it can be kind of tough to gauge what skill level you're on, because if you are of a higher skill level, you should be charging more. And is the product physical or digital, right? If it's a physical artwork, if it is something physically that you can have, you're gonna have to factor in like shipping, you're gonna have to factor in packaging, gonna factor in the cost of the materials that it took to use, right? If it's digital, it might be a bit cheaper. You can just email it. Please email it, don't send it over Discord or something, but email it or send it over Drive or whatever. And like, of course, like you can factor in the cost of like your program that you're using or like the other materials that you're using there. But in terms of traditional work, that's gonna cost a lot more, right? For instance, I just bought materials to try linography for the first time. I didn't realize that linography things cost that much. So please factor in how much you are spending on the materials to make somebody's commission as well, and that should also be factored into the price. Before we continue, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor for today, ArtDone. It can be hard to find commissions, but lucky for us art nerds, is a new app called ArtDone, where you can post and request commissions, manage orders, and accept payments all in one place. Go download the beta app now and you'll have taken your first step into getting a commission. Link in the description. For public commissions, people tend to like seeing a price up front. So when I offer my own commissions, I tell them, okay, well, it's $120 for a full body character, but if you want more on there, or if there is like additional characters, or if there's a background, or if it's more complex than like what I would normally work with, I charge extra. Generally, it's best to estimate how much time a piece will take and then create a price based on that. So generally, like a full body takes me around 3 to 4 hours. So 120 is generally reasonable for me, but some people also charge by the hour. If I was to say 4 hours, that's 30 an hour. And if you were to take more than those 4 hours, you can say, okay, it's 120 if it's within those first 4 hours, but it's an additional 30 for every extra hour I take. So that could also be like some kind of complexity fee that is added on, or if you're paying in twos, that is another thing where they pay the 120 up front and then the extra costs afterwards. Like I mentioned, complexity fees and additional charges may also be factored in when we are taking commissions. If I go back to mine, right, the specifics of my additional costs. So again, let's take the full body character. Full body character is $120 USD is what I offer. Additional full body characters are less than the first one, so it's an additional 100 if it is also a full body. Pets or animals or critters, that's generally minimum approximately 35 USD tacked on there as well. And a minor background is approximately an additional 50 USD, but solid colors and simple patterns are free, right? So backgrounds are going to be a lot more than you might think, but if it is more than a simple background for me would be like, if you think of like dioramas, where they just have like a little like solid section or just like a little like cube, whatever, all right, that's nice and simple. That'd be like a minimum like 50 extra charge. But if they want like a full proper background, that's gonna hike the price up like crazy. So again, let me calculate that up for you. So if they wanted 2 full body characters sitting on a porch and a rocking chairs with like a cat in one of their laps, that would be at least 305 USD total, right? 2 characters, 1 critter in a background. At least 305, and then that's without me knowing what the characters look like. I tend to charge complexity for armor. That tends to be a pretty big one. Again, depending on what you are comfortable with charging or depending on what you think this piece that you are working on should cost, that is the prices that you should factor in. And if you don't really know what price you should be starting at, you're hearing all this, you're like, I don't know. I don't know where to put myself. Most beginner artists tend to start at around 20 to 25 an hour. That tends to be a good pricing scheme for me.
Join a virtual class to learn live from our professional artists. Get creative assignments, individual guidance, and real-time feedback on your artwork. Start today and level up your practice. If you learned something new, like and share this with a fellow art nerd. Here's a couple other videos you can check out next.